lot of stuff going on. California, but it's a basic system, but most of the challenge. Some of those are self-repeating. Today we're going to look at some of the laws. We have the most stringent environmental policies, and we also have some of the most long-standing and have to say stringent water laws. I kind of look at what that actually involves. So Future California Water Management is guided by our laws, and we just talked about it. All water is owned by the state. So, contrary to taking a long shower, I don't own that water, so the state should be able to advise me not to take a long shower. Okay? And it's all based on this concept of benefit. You don't get to use this water if you have rights. All have this responsibility. It kind of goes back to our but the responsibility and a beneficial use is domestic use, profit, but it prohibits waste, and we're going to talk about one of those that's gone away, and that was called hydraulic mining. So the idea that we use water as long as the state has to be beneficial, and that's kind of the underlying. We don't get to waste it, okay, which is great. There are, starting in 1914, basically they set up the basis of our water law, and they're either riparian or appropriative. Okay? Two different kinds of water rights there. Okay? So they often talk about 1940, post-1940. Long time ago, we started really thinking about what hydraulic mining is back to the initial concept. This is an amazing thing. Damage caused by that. They collect water upstream, and then they would run it down pipes, collect pressure, and blow it onto hillsides to this large hole, right? And that would go through, and they basically pour out water, and then all that debris and everything was going down on the downstream. At that time, farmers, they were just getting flooded. It's called Robin. Is a place where hay was damaged, and they had to do a lot of restoration efforts to fix it so salmon could move up the river. They basically destroyed the structure of the riparian. Those are the ones that come with ownership. Riparian habitat with all the plants next to it, right? Riparian or habitat. For us, our riparian habitat is called a cotton willow habitat. Have the big cotton, then we have willows. Not those funny looking weeping willows. Have like the royal willow and the red willow. All these. That's our natural riparian habitat. And on the field trip, we're going to talk about how across the Southwest, this imported invasive species called tamarind, salt cedar, has come in and taken over. It's invasive, it takes over. And how in the Mojave, we have been working a long time. I'm associated with the Conservation District, and we've had a grant from the state Mojave Water Agency that other invasive like Rondo. So we manage that quite well. But it's again the point right here, same word right here. Next, you have rights to water if you have your land, your farm along the river. And those are they trump the appropriate rights. The appropriate rights is that you're the first person to take quantity of water from a water source. The Mojave River adjudication, right? The judges will manage it. Our groundwater, I was just out with my friend Dr. Aller out in Plymouth Valley, Boston. Wine, took my goats out there so she can graze them. But when they started the Mojave station, 990, and they said to her, how much water, they measured how much pumped out for farm out there. How much water did you pump? That was appropriate. She took that water, has rights from the first person to take a quantity from a water source. Okay. In this case, groundwater. Same thing. If I was next to the river and I had my own little canal, my little aqueduct like they have all over the place, whoever took that water has an appropriate right. They were there first. And they're like, hey, don't take my water away. I was there first. Well, that's secondary to riparian. If that person's downstream from you and right next to the river, you happen to be, you have your aqueduct comes along, but you're half a mile away from the river, you're second, they're seen. But that's appropriate. So they took all the appropriate rights from Mojave River Communication, and then they came up with the vegetables. So they said to Dr. Allen, I think she has 30 acres of water rights. You can pump 30 acres legally from there. And those are appropriate that are then managed under Mojave River Communication. Other places, they don't have adjudication. They're now going to have a form of adjudication. Groundwater. They're going to have to figure out all the water rights in that area. They have to come up with a sustainable plan with groundwater. Say how we manage that. You don't just get bigger steps. What's been happening right now in the San Joaquin Valley, the Great Boston Country, almonds. We had elections. Agronomist, Tim Hayes, what did he tell us? They make $10,000 an acre is on almonds. So what happens? Those guys, they go a little bit way up higher by the land, and they're sinking very well with groundwater. So I'm down here, and I had groundwater. I'm kind of down in the valley, and this almond farmer that's got all kinds of money can dig a 1,000 well. They go and suck the water before it even comes to me. So that's going to go away. Now I'm going to have those rights assigned to me, and they're going to have to buy them or something to come in and take them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the groundwater law 20. Groundwater law. That's the biggest thing in California. Water. Probably many people think tanks, that's the biggest piece of legislation in the whole state. Because water is so at everything that we do, economic as well. Okay, so pre-14 post, and then there's other things we're going to go through real quick. County of origin came from where LA came, and really, I felt like stolen water that came properly. Owens Valley up here, Bishop, LA Department. LA owns 98%. That is LA. That's over 100 miles away, but they own 98% of the land. How did they do that? Well, they came in and put up all the farmland, and with that, they got riparian or appropriate rights to land. Then they built the LA Aqueduct and siphoned all that. Well, people said, hey, what's going on here? You have to know that the county of origin has rights to come. So they put in advisors say, you can't take all the water away from this county. We need it for our use, our life, and all that, and for future development. So that's a little rider, another law that goes on top of the basic water law. There we are. Trucks around here. Hydropower from Colorado comes right through this valley, and our valley, the valley department of power. We've had a contract with plants here this is actually looking out the item on it. I'll take a picture of that's actual Owen Lake. What they're doing there is they're back to the lake. And they've enforced that big lawsuit that the Owen River filed dust, or the health effects of all the dust. Because when they dried up the area and shipped water to LA, then they air pollution problems. Considered actually some of the biggest air pollution problems in the United States because of all the dust that was places like Lone Pine, attendants. And so they sued LADWP and they've had to de-water. They've actually reworked with a consultant and when we planted grass in golf grass, big fields of golf grass. So that's okay. Also, other water laws that are related. You guys were talking about the water board today, but back in the 70s, same drinking water act. Okay, so you can't just use our water. Endangered Species Act, effect. Endangered happening. Local example with the Royal Code. So the big new development coverage area. The Lost Wars Project, now called the Tapestry Project, held up for the last 20 years. Now, Mahaguru is called the Royal Code, pretty nondescript. And that's the Endangered Species Act. They had to do an environmental impact study to prove that development was effective. Then we had about the way to be the cost of wild and Rivers Act, declare the wild. I know DP on the list. I'm one of those. Oh yeah, then we get things like the public trust doctrine. This came about Mono Lake, people of Mono Lake and the Waterfront Society, Spirit Club, against curtailing power. Because they were pulling from the Owens River, but they wasn't pulling from the Mono Lake watershed above that. They were pulling out all this, and Mono Lake basically died. And basically, the public trust doctrine says, oh, you guys can't just do that willy-nilly. You own the land and you have those water rights. You also have to have the public trust doctrine that you're going to make sure that environmental and aesthetic factors of protection, right? And that is because Mono Lake, Mono Lake, 100 people. That's special as that. Okay? You haven't visited there, just go out on the road and put out go 100 miles, 120 miles up the road. Most amazing. Okay. Other ones, Central Valley Project, Improvement Act. We talked about this, the Gradient Central Valley Project. Remember the San Joaquin basically divided up. The Valley Project was the agricultural water, and they've now we're back. There's some salmon and some habitat to be restored. Okay? 28 interstate water dedicated to environmental use in wetlands alone. Remember we talked about how important wetlands are as the nurseries for all the plants. Remember there's our total again, 39 total that goes to the environment. As we talked in the past, that's back 20 years ago, the environment didn't count. Water from agriculture cares about the coho salmon. We're going to dry up the salmon. Well, that's changed. Now we've got all the environment stuff that has to be along with other uses. And that's changed up Water Conservation Act of 2009 really started to speed up the last 10 years. That's the 2020 conservation that Nick was talking about in his lecture. So you don't have to know all this stuff specifically, but this is important to see that background. Anything in red highlighted, kind of like ball type. That's the kind of stuff you might see. Okay. Rainwater Capture Act of 2012. Unbelievable. But to capture water from our end, all across the California, all across the globe, always have buckets, barrels at the gutters collecting water from rainwater. We collect amounts of rainwater just once water. All it's got is a bit of dust, but it's evaporated and comes straight down. Coming down as acid rain. It's perfect. It's about as clean water as you can get. Then the grey water. So I have a grey water, legal one, as we mentioned. My house. I take things, my bath water, all of that goes out on the plant. So it's really, and again, municipalities, including here, it was illegal to do that. We all have what we call desert rats, like I am these days, all aftermarket rainwater. So any house, I guess, have this washing has a pump, goes straight out on. I've had that here, but now making policies that help go towards very simple, very essential way of living like this. Yeah, good question. So the soap is mostly phosphate based. In most cases, especially for landscape plants, they love it. Phosphate is one of the basic. If you're worried about that, then use a biodegradable soap. So you don't probably want to use quite as much of that real nice smelling soap, but you just use old-fashioned soap. And no, that's really not. And you also will notice that that's the kind of stuff that the land, let's get that out on the land and let it get cleaned up by growing things. Actually, a positive get down from garden. Not really yes, I don't know. Amount of scope that actually goes out. Great question. Then we come to recent 2015 part of 25% mandate. First time ever that a governor has mandated 5% reduction in urban water use. Remember, it was only urban. Urban, how much of total use of water? Wait, think about 20%. Okay, remember? Definitely exam again. 41 for agriculture, 39 for environmental, 20 for urban. So we had a 25% reduction. We got hit with that 25% reduction locally. Say that we over the last 10% reduction locally. Efforts locally are so much better than a place like Santa Monica, where those, well, I don't and where they come from that much. We had to reduce, and we successfully did it. Local water players know that they did public trust doctrine itself again. What does that mean? You can't take it away from other uses, like navigation, fishery, commerce, environmental commerce, recreation, logic. That's this idea that even if you own the water, like LA, city of LA, you can't have water rights. They don't own it for them. You still have to have this public trust doctrine that the local people have a say, and the local animals would have a say. Right? There's the recent laws, groundwater law of 20. That's that big one. All groundwater basins. You know that the big trade-off, right? Run loan for the last 5 years. Massive drought. Keep the wells, turn on the wells. So those farmers weren't getting any water, very little water in the last 5 years of agriculture. But the crops still grew, and that's because they were overcrafting, pulling from the groundwater. Now, they're not going to be able to do that. That farmer, and next time we have a water shortage, we live in a desert, guys. It's not drought. But by the way, Alex was the right response. Trying to show that off. People trying to have 35 million, 40 million in California, and most of the states. So we're always going to have water shortages. And the big trade-off is we've been abusing our groundwater. We haven't got to do that locally. Education, we don't get that. Last 25 years, we don't get to abuse our groundwater. First of all, that's where all our water comes from. We didn't get to do that judges. Judges' water came to the king. A lot of people are very unhappy. One of them is S1R1, right? And they chose to stay out of the right? They stayed out of it. But most people realize now that education we're able to manage on a long-term plan. Project we're going to visit, for example, is $30-40 billion project of the RQ project. Recycle, recharge, reuse. RRR, R to the Q. And that was based on long-term planning, saying we've got to find ways to recharge. We've got to buy water from the state water projects and that back to the ground. You can't do that if everyone isn't on the same plan. It's like communication. Everybody working together. One overall managing that, which is public trust doctrine. Major wake-up call for the Audubon Association on the lake won that trial. Very, very expensive trial. I mean, very expensive. But everyone looked like, okay, I'm just getting whatever we want. The public. So they were dewatering because violated game code. The Mono Lake had lost half its volume and salinity had doubled, and so they were starting to destroy the very precious ecosystem. We talked about it in another class. This is where most of the brown pelicans live. You take the other class about these and how these guys got in a big problem, like lots of things, but the eggs become fragile. And the mom crushes her own eggs. And well, after banned in the United States, then they started to come back. But at the same time, their main nesting site was at Mono Lake. And so if Mono Lake was going south, then had a double whammy for the brown pelicans. Okay? And they'd come back, ready to come off. They're one of my absolute favorite birds. I love to sit on the beach in California and look out and watch birds, like 4 or 5, 6, 7 at a time, skim along, and their wingtips almost touch the waves. I think they just do it for sport. I mean, right as the waves breaking, they're magnificent, and they're huge birds, and they're funny looking. So there's this ecosystem. We've got these brine flies and a brine shrimp that live there, and everything depends. If the water was dropping on itself, with salt now, and but the backdrop, like magnificent. But that ecosystem was under threat by this lawsuits, Audubon Society, Mono Lake, LADWP, that's LA Department of Water and Power, talking about that. And they were ordered to refill the lake at 27%, 20-foot level of its pre-diversion level. They didn't have to refill it completely, but they had to put it in practice where to come back up to 27 foot of what it used to be. Today, we're still 10 foot low carbon. Now this year is going to give us huge, right? Nice little watershed there. This is the period they've got huge snow. It's far enough in the moment that snow falls up there. I'm going to say that hopefully Mono Lake is overflowing. That would be awesome. That's where kind of Mother Nature helps us out. But LAWP is a fascinating plan. Hopefully next year we down, they have every kind of restoration going on. And fish, birds, fascinating places. They're doing it because they have to, but they're doing a lot of good work. Exciting to see that you can fix it. Okay. Delta issues, real quick. Delta, we all know that State Water Project. What's the other big project that pulls from the Delta? Sacramento Delta. Sacramento River coming down from the Oroville Dam and what is the big State Water Project? So this is Central Valley, mostly agriculture, 80%. Mostly Central Valley, mostly south of that, way down. And then the State Water Project is most of that water comes all the way down. Right? The other two biggest state projects in the US all depend on the Delta. That's not all of it, but most of it. Okay? So these diversions, and because of Davis drought, those diversions are pumping water out of the spectrum. With endangered species, the Delta smelt and other smelt, shad, which is another small fish, and then salmon. Talked a lot about salmon. California again, biodiverse hotspots. But every kind of animal is fishing. California, very, very special. Our largest stress fish, increased pumping, and other reasons was what causes the stress on the fish? Well, increased pumping, biggest one, but also pollution. Some of that agriculture, competition. So basically, coming normal again, there's a problem up there. The tammers that we have here, coming in and using more water here and fish. What's the big predator thing that jump out of the when you're driving down the lake boat and they jump out of the water. There's fish for them, but they're in and they basically they go crazy when they're feeding and they're like flying out of the water and head and that's not a bass. Bass to the vehicle. Catfish, no. Well, no. We have them here. But Delta smelt came slowly. They only counted 5 of them. So here we go. Before, lots of pressure on this delta, right? These islands. This is a really clear island. Can you see those berms that I'm putting up? That in there with a farm in 25 to 70 foot below the water level. So those are these submerged islands, and they flooded. Worried about earthquakes breaking those, to break all of these. All this pressure would kind of pump down, basically spreads out, and not even have access. That's earthquake. Then of course we've got all these people that want to live up there, and around these areas. Up, down, but agriculture. Federal court ordered a 30% reduction, 208, of the pumping well. That water is coming to us. That affects us directly. What do they substitute for? They have some big storage lakes, like San Rafael, up a little bit up the San Rafael Valley, and they shut down the pumps for 10 days. Well, people went crazy. I mean, it's unheard of. But the judge puts the Endangered Species Act, because Delta smell, they shut down. The farmers are like, if you drive up to the San Joaquin Valley, they'll say fish for water, ag for fish. That's what we're talking about. Fish, when they shut down water supply, destroy our food supply, potentially no water for LA. Yeah, that's how the game's played. That's what it is, guys. We've got to figure out the balance. And what are we back to? Sustainability, environment, social, economic. That's what fish does count. I think that's, I know how hard it is. These are some of the infrastructure pictures. That's a gauging station along the aqueduct. That's one of the big pumps. Wood Lake right there, bad picture of it, but that's it. Okay. So as we're working with the Delta, all these issues for the Delta, they established the biggest move recently, established the Delta Stewardship Council. It's some past history about Calfed, well, and now they're looking for balance and sustainable for urban interests, agriculture, and environment. You have to balance, and that has to happen in the Delta. Why is the Delta? How much of our water storage comes from the Delta? How much of our water storage is in here? Plus 50%. Most of that comes through the Delta system. Comes straight out of the mountain, flow down. A huge percentage of that comes from the Delta. So sustainability is huge for the Delta. Okay? Just a little bit more about the history. So this Bay Delta Conservation Plan, structure would be and they proposed this highly controversial twin tunnel proposal. We'll hear in a moment the most expensive project where they're going to build tunnels. Another one. But it's very controversial. So these two tunnels, the biggest part of BDCP tunnel project. The idea is, I didn't bring my map in, right? Instead of pumping the Delta flowing out into the ocean, we're pumping the very west southern side of it. So the water goes way through the Delta and then we pump it out. They want to go closer to the Sierras and dig a tunnel, 5-mile long tunnel that now deep Delta above. That's when these fish issues and some of these other issues happen. Okay? And I'm just going to cut through this go through. But there's people that don't like that either. And guess who? Well, the farmers. If that water doesn't flow to the Delta anymore, it's diverted. The farmer is going to have this Delta farm. Island. They're pushing back and saying it's expensive and won't get environmental folks and urban folks and us. That'll keep the Delta healthier. We don't pull so much water out and keep it healthy. Remember, one of the other big issues in the Delta was salt water infiltration. As we pull fresh water out, more salt water comes in. Okay? The salt water goes in the Delta. Okay? Remember, there's even salt water dams. Salt water. Rising sea level and also take the delta, and that twin tunnel project can help with that. 24.5 billion, but in a 50 billion project. Take more water from farm irrigation. That battle everything all we can allow net local. I guess 5,000 local period. Just give them water rights. Know that the waters are really right. 5 times oversubscribed. We've allocated 5 times more water than we have. So do they get water to build 25,000 more houses? Well, they probably can wrangle it. Groups like Syria, or if they have to carry probably fun, often faster, but guarantee. So there's very long-term planning. Cost benefit for the project is cost that tunnel project action. Back on that. Basically, based on cost. Ecosystem restoration, a big part of it. We'll talk more about that on fish versus farmer. That's why stop all of this. Kind of starting fish. And forget that it's not just about this one little species of fish. It's about all the habitat and a whole bunch of environment. Farmers in the islands are at San Joaquin Valley. Now the farmers are fighting with each other. San Joaquin Valley farmers, they said that's totally get our project, pull our water. And now the farmers want to do that. Farmers groups are fighting. Alternative plans, you can do a single tunnel, smaller tunnel. Elephant is that the best available science suggests that current flows are insufficient to protect the public trust. Right? Again, one lake life is we do care. The public does care about those environmental and aesthetic and those other issues. And they probably went out and had to be a betting person. What they're saying right here is probably going to happen because the public are going to demand that they happen. Okay, proposing separate tunnels for conservation, proposing conservation habitat development different from the tunnels. So if the tunnels aren't going to work, we still have to have other plans to protect the environment. There's now this is where and I'm probably going to end having this. Other way we do this policy is money you're running along the policy issue bonds, right? Valley College, I did the bond offering, haven't spent all of it, everything on the sell all of it, that basically goes on our tax, borrowing from ourselves, right? So on your, if you pay taxes, property taxes up here locally, you're paying, you can see service area, you're paying that bond. Okay? They did Proposition 1 was a water bond for a lot of these things. So anyway, and it was to all these construction. So you look down, you know, you've got this desalination, groundwater storage, and watershed protection. But $7.5 billion. We are using some of this money to do the camera. That's where coming from. I think the RDU project, that much was probably again how we make it happen. Money comes from a way from so the big thing, and Nick did a good job of explaining that. The shift in policy now is, hey, don't take the project. Put out your own problems locally. That's about 55 gallons of right? So visualize how much 55 gallons is. How little. If you're a farmer like me, 55-gallon drum is one of the big middle baskets. That's how much water you're going to have for a day. And the kind of shower that I take, that drum's I'm going to be like minutes in the shower. Pretty quick. Washing, flushing toilets, and everything else. Not very much. I can just shower. Driven by recent successes in conservation, restoration, groundwater management, so we do a lot, and we're getting forced to do more. We've done well with conservation, we've done well with restoration, we've done well with groundwater management. Now the state's saying you can more and more and more. We're going to let you guys down locally. Don't depend on us. Big infrastructure, big dams, and all of that. Okay, so there's the recycle, reuse, and localizing what is another way we do really help locally. Done already locally. Biggest change for us locally is about this 2 weeks away. 3 ponds, one in the area, one in the Upper Valley. Taking water and doing secondary. I'm going to talk about 2 things that are really important. We're taking water, goes all the way down the river, Forest Bank, with the Valley Waste Pond is. Go all the way down there, and then we have to pump it all the way back up to recycle it, to use it out on our landscapes or whatever. What if partially treated water? But primary, secondary, primary basically takes the solid. All the stuff jump code. He takes that. That's primary. Everything's installed in the water and all that ground stuff. Secondary parts of the tree take some of that out. Bacteria and microbes start cleaning that up. That's secondary. They're going to do that. Stuff the rest of it's still going to flow to what's left. It's still going to flow to the big daddy downstream, and they're going to do tertiary treatment. And the tertiary treatment, and we get to it later in the slides, I'm going to stop here, is where we actually treat it so that it's treated. Right? So we'll be standing at Victor Valley Waste Pond, and we'll watch all this beautiful coming straight out. And we just come by where people like Jennifer inhibited from doing all these that's some life. So but within 100 yards, we're watching huge amounts of water gushing out that's going directly to Barstow. For people in Barstow, you can't drink our food water. That's the truth. When they sued us, they didn't only sue us out the quality. Have very, very sophisticated water because you don't get lazy like they are in LA. They secondary, and then they pump it 5 miles out in the ocean. Can you believe that that's still what they do? I think that's pretty much criminal. The ocean, whatever. That's terrible. Yeah, have we stood there, Logan Old, hopefully quite a character. At times you take a glass of water and you pass it out. The body will actually get in trouble for that. Fails if somebody fails. That's it. Sorry. But that water is drinking standard as it comes out of that. Probably safer to drink, is safer to drink bottled. But still got the dang bottled water. What? I want to point that out. That is ridiculous. What have you done in this class? Oh, look at you, Allie. You didn't have that. You got worse. Anyway, I'm going to stop. Do you guys have any questions? Well, it goes into desalination. Again, just the slides are there, but for the rest of this, here on out, before you read and understood what you're doing. Yes. Yeah, so that's right there. We're going to be standing big by the question is ultraviolet. Also, basically, what's really interesting about waste biology, so they're balanced. Now, and they're keeping a population of bacteria and protozoa. Little things like water bears. You guys will see that on the microscope. Little thing that goes around the water. And when that water bear has done its work, and a water bear is a beneficial, good bug. They're looking for, I think they're called rotifers. If they have rotifers, that's the balance. Mostly it has to do with an anaerobic, aerobic, not enough oxygen. They have this whole biological process. Most all these bugs basically have everything. Pharmaceuticals and all that. Right? But anyway, then after that's done, now we've got bacteria left. Some of those bacteria, so they have to kill them. The old way to kill those is water. I drink water supply, you take the water to the farm. That's what for killing bugs. The better way to do it is to use ultraviolet light. High energy ultraviolet light, kind of the same thing it does to our skin cells, it damages the DNA, kills them. So they've got this huge ultraviolet treatment system. Now they don't have water. So therefore the water going to the poor people is large. So moral of the story, don't. All right. Good.